Yeah, she really did say that.
Yeah, she really did say that after she just got done Gaddafi and then laughed about it.
We came, we saw, he died.
We came, we saw, he died. The fact that any human being would ever do that. By the way he died, that's some dark.
He is, and he's actually still kind of good looking. Like, even for an older dude. Yeah, why not? He's still so good looking, and she's just so miserable.
She's publicly humiliated.
And you never saw this curveball coming. But here we are watching Joe Rogan tear through Hillary Clinton's polished lines like they're delicate props ready to fall apart with one tiny poke. You can't even tell if this is meant to be a real political debate or a surprise comedy match, because the chaos hits fast and hits hard. Every second gets hotter than a jalapeno stuck in a sauna. And the reactions blow up so wildly that even a giant bucket of popcorn feels like emergency gear in this storm of craziness. You're totally unready for the wild ride that follows. And that's exactly why it pulls you in so hard.
And she thought that her big retribution would become president.
I'm running for president, and I'm in it to win it.
You know, become president.
Sure.
And then that would be it. All water under the bridge. I'm a strong woman. I'm running this country. And then America was like, nah.
And I'm sorry that we did not win this election for the values we share and the vision we hold for our country.
I mean, it doesn't matter what color you are, America does not want a woman in charge.
Well, that's not exactly true because she won the popular.
Before anything else continues, hit that like button and subscribe, because skipping this moment would feel like walking out right before the best scene. Joe Rogan steps onto the political stage looking like a guy who accidentally brought a chainsaw to a quiet tea party. And the clash is explosive. Hillary Clinton, normally calm and polished when the crowd cheers, suddenly looks like she's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded, while Rogan just peels off the stickers and laughs at the chaos happening right in front of her.
She had all the favors that she was pulling in, and she had a ton of money behind her, and they were completely arrogant, and all the liberal elite in the media thought there was no chance that she was going to lose. She's 95% shoe-in to win the presidency, and she walked around like she was 95%.
She already thought she won.
Let's say it all does go pear-shaped. November 18th, 2016, and for whatever reason, it's President-elect Donald Trump. In that circumstance, is Hillary Clinton moving to Canada?
First of all, I do not think that will happen, and I have every confidence if I'm the nominee, it certainly won't happen. But
The tension builds with almost movie-style timing. But instead of soft piano music, there's a sharp buzz of disbelief hanging in the air like a warning light. Everything begins harmless enough as Hillary leans in, ready to deliver those polished lines she's practiced so much they practically shine under the studio lights. It's the quiet before the storm, and everyone senses the shift coming even before the first crack shows.
Democrats are not happy with this one.
Jamie, go to that Hillary Clinton thing that I texted you today. This one is wild.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration into this country. We know now that too many people come in for medical care as it is. We certainly don't want them having the same benefits that American citizens are entitled to have.
How about that? More MAGA than Trump.
And then
it's
you
all
couldn't believe you watched the news.
illusion.
Meanwhile, Joe Rogan moves like a guy who just discovered that politics is basically improv theater for adults, and he's ready to twist every line into a punchline that hits the moment it drops. The jokes don't just land, they blast through your head with the force of a comic boom, turning every moment into a clear warning that nothing in this exchange is going to stay calm for long.
Hillary Clinton said in an interview, if we can't control social media, we lose control.
if the platforms, whether it's Facebook or Twitter X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever they are, if they don't moderate and monitor the content, we lose total control.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have control over other human beings.
And then the moment hits. Joe starts with the light jabs. A small question here, a raised eyebrow there. Nothing harsh yet, just enough easy charm to make you forget he's seconds away from sending someone into the next time zone with a perfectly timed remark. Hillary answers with steady confidence, polished and practiced. But Rogan's smirk is the real warning. It's the smirk of someone about to expose that your whole master plan looks like a rejected Netflix subplot begging to be canceled. The energy in the room flips instantly, and everyone watching knows things are about to jump from polite talk to a full-blown kinetic demolition derby in one blink. She brings out the usual stats, the trusted charts, and the familiar applause lines, and Joe keeps nodding like he's tapping a powder keg labeled hubris, just waiting for the spark. And when it hits, it blows hotter than popcorn in a microwave gone wild. Her calm starts to crack. A tiny frown, a slight head tilt, and that blink that screams someone wondering if any of this was worth it. As Rogan smoothly points out, the Emperor might be standing there in pajamas stitched entirely from Contradictions.
On the day of the election, I think they had some crazy odds of Hillary winning. It was like in the 90%. We watched it from the Comedy Store. We did a podcast from the Comedy Store called the End of the World podcast. What was most fascinating was the podcast was over, and then we all went to the bar, and on the television, Jake Tapper was just seriously bummed out, talking about Trump winning all these different states.
And Anderson, it is hard to think of a political comeback that is actually more significant than this one. I'm tempted to say Richard Nixon, but that really falls short of what Donald Trump has achieved.
I think for a lot of people, that was the end of trust in mainstream media.
But Joe has already set the perfect stage for chaos. He drops a line loaded with exaggerated disbelief that makes you laugh and wince at the same time, like watching someone realize mid-flight that they forgot their seatbelt. The online crowd erupts, half gripping their coffee like it's a lifeline, the other half refreshing non-stop to make sure this isn't some wild dream. Because every second of Rogan's calm takedown feels sharper than a hidden blade. Hillary's voice wavers just a little, a tiny hitch in a sentence. A hesitation so small yet so loud it beats any dramatic mic drop you could imagine. And it doesn't stop. Rogan slides right into personal stories and razor-dry humor that can spark a small wildfire, while Hillary tries to defend herself like a knight charging at a laser cannon with only a wooden shield. You want to root for her, you really do. But Rogan's speed is too much. One moment he's talking emails, the next he's throwing in pop culture references that make you question if you're watching a political exchange or a surprise late-night comedy special.
If you try to promote her as president against Trump, Democrats are going to vote for Trump.
She should lose one more time.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
But she's going to lose in a way that's
it's crazy. No, they have nobody else. That's the other thing.
But the thing is, he should lose in a way that's crazy if you're looking at competence, because he's so old. But people will vote for him just because the machine behind him has kept the country relatively okay.
Yeah. By now, the whole energy has shifted, turning what started as a regular political exchange into a full-blown spectacle that feels like watching a chess champion get outsmarted by a street magician pulling tricks from thin air. The rules still exist on paper, but the delivery is pure, beautiful chaos wrapped in perfect comedic timing, almost like a lesson in humility dressed up as entertainment. Then comes the moment everyone clips and shares with captions like, "Did he really just say that?" It arrives like a lightning bolt hitting a disco ball as Rogan drops the line with calm ease, landing like a meteor crashing into a quiet town. Hillary's talking points crumble mid-sentence, her pause stretching just a bit too long, sending the room into a swirl of shock, awe, and unstoppable laughter she can't control. And the crazy part is, Rogan never even raises his voice. He exposes the absurdity with smooth precision, sipping his drink while pointing out contradictions like he's just mentioning the weather.
J-Mo.
This one is wild. This is Hillary Clinton in 2008, and Hillary Clinton saying some wild MAGA type shit.
Oh, wow. Anyone else?
You have to wait in line. Wow. More MAGA than Trump.
And then
it's
you
all
couldn't believe that.
Watch the illusion.
News. Dragons are real.
Joe Rogan ends up doing something almost nobody expected. He turns the usually unshakable, perfectly prepared Hillary Clinton into a live example of, "Oh, no, not that." The audience reacts instantly with a flood of comments, memes, and non-stop shock. The shift is seamless as the conversation bounces from politics to philosophy to pop culture and back again. Every line lands like a hidden punch that hits harder than you'd think. Rogan isn't just asking questions. He's holding up a glowing mirror, forcing Hillary to face a reflection she never expected. And it's both hilarious and oddly captivating. The show flips from a predictable political chat into a wild jungle gym of improv, wit, and relentless pressure, with Hillary trying to navigate a maze built entirely by Rogan's unpredictable timing. It's like watching someone do Sudoku while the board keeps changing, and every online gasp feels like a cheer for the chaos exploding across the screen.
It's one of those things where women want a woman to be president so bad. They want one for the team so bad. And then there's so many people from the left that think she has the best chance of beating Trump or whoever is on the right. They're willing to exonerate her from so many different horrendous things. One of the things I always point out, like, people want to talk progressive, being left-wing, and she didn't even believe in gay marriage until 2013. They were trying to get people supporting her just because she's a woman. This is going to be her history. You know, women, ladies, I stand with her. So there's all these women that have this blind allegiance towards this career politician. It's completely full of shit.
Joe leans back with total calm, taking a slow sip of water like he's watching a live science experiment unfold. The entire room freezes, waiting for the next thunderbolt to strike. He asks a question that seems harmless at first, but hits Hillary's mental balance like a hidden grenade, sending ripples through her carefully planned response. She starts steady and composed, but Rogan's subtle smirk, that tiny eyebrow raise, and that quiet energy throw her off until her answer wobbles like jelly on a roller coaster. The magic is in Rogan's precision. He doesn't shout or attack. He dismantles with conversational jujitsu, so smooth it almost feels unfair. Every polished talking point she tries to deliver collapses under his casual disbelief. She keeps trying to recalibrate, but Rogan's perfect timing, his quick pivots, and his effortless transitions turn the debate into an unforgettable masterclass and comedic demolition that leaves the audience stunned, laughing at every twist.
Like, you know, I was getting shot at. It's like, I can't imagine, I was just talking about lack of empathy. I can't imagine being in a situation where I'm on television and I'm saying things that are so removed from the truth.
Right.
Like, I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, Hillary did the same thing.
Well, she's a congenital liar, as she was referred to by the New York Times back in the day.
But, and rightly so, but people forget this. She did talk about a firefight that she was involved in.
I was under sniper fire, and the worst thing about that people didn't give a shit about, she said when she was in Bosnia, she was under sniper fire.
Around the midway point, everything tips into full-blown absurdity, as Rogan starts mixing politics with pop culture in ways that feel like a surreal dream you can't look away from. References fly everywhere. Historical facts crash into MMA metaphors, and the whole scene turns into chaotic brilliance that somehow still makes perfect sense. Hillary does her best to pivot, throwing out facts, stats, and even the occasional practice joke. But Rogan has already built an atmosphere where reverence has no chance. The online audience mirrors the room, disbelief, excitement, and the growing sense that everyone is watching a moment as dramatic as history and as wild as a comedy sketch. The funniest part is how a simple offhand remark from Rogan can make Hillary's well-prepared answer feel outdated, like a relic from another era, showing that his dry humor can hit harder than any harsh critique.
Saudi Arabia is not allowed to give Hillary Clinton's campaign $10 million.
It's a criminal enterprise. Saudi Arabia giving $25 million. Qatar.
But they could give the Clinton Foundation $10 million.
So I'd like to ask you right now, why don't you give back the money that you've taken from certain countries that treat certain groups of people so horribly?
You write these rules, they find another way to do it.
You talk about women and women.
What makes it even more amazing is that none of Rogan's moves feel forced. He's not trying to embarrass anyone. He's just being himself. And somehow, that alone turns Hillary Clinton's polished armor into something full of obvious cracks. She leans in, attempting a bold comeback, dropping a line meant to sound sharp and confident, hoping it lands with authority. But Rogan brushes it off with effortless ease, like someone who spent a lifetime dodging nonsense with style. The whole thing becomes hilariously painful to watch. Almost like a slow-motion collision made of wit, timing, and charisma, where you want to look away but can't because every tiny pause and every crack in her composure becomes part of the comedy. Rogan doesn't even need to push. He simply stays present in that space where chaos and conversation mix, letting the absurdity unfold with perfect natural timing.
Wow. The thing that got me was when they were confronting Bill recently about Monica Lewinsky, and they asked him, do you owe her an apology?
Right.
And he was like, if anybody thinks that I got out of that free, you're crazy. Let me tell you something. I left the White House millions of dollars in debt.
Yeah, and they stole the furniture and they had to return it. Do you
They
remember
stole
that?
the furniture?
Yeah, they looted the White House. They had to return all the shit they stole.
Come on.
There's a book called Final Exit written by Barbara Olson, who died in 9/11, and it's all about everything.
Then comes the moment that feels like the grand finale. Rogan asks a question so simple and innocent looking that it's like a trapdoor opening under Hillary's feet, sending her balance into freefall instantly. She responds with sharp precision, trying to steady herself. But Rogan's follow-up is flawless, smooth, calm, and quietly devastating, making her confident answer bounce until she's visibly shaken. The online world erupts as viewers watch her struggle to keep up while every move is anticipated, countered, or gently mocked with timing so perfect it almost feels supernatural. Rogan runs the conversation like a maestro leading an orchestra of tiny explosions, each punchline sparking like a surprise firework, leaving the audience in disbelief and excitement. Hillary grows more defensive with every turn, while Rogan's calm presence makes it nearly impossible to push back. Memes flood the internet faster than anyone can keep up, capturing every blink, pause, and effortless smirk that turns this exchange into pure spectacle.
These are people that kill women and treat women horribly. You take their money.
Clinton Foundation was making so much money until right around 2016.
But I am happy. In fact, I am thrilled to talk about the Clinton Foundation because it is a world-renowned charity, and I am so proud of the work that it does.
Everyone stopped donating to it. It's just so weird.
The Clinton Foundation made it possible for 11 million people around the world with HIV/AIDS to afford treatment.
The Saudis were really into charity.
Finally, as the metaphorical credits roll, it's clear what everyone just witnessed. A wild mix of wit, sharp thinking, and pure absurdity that turns a normal political discussion into a chaotic spectacle full of surprises and entertainment. Hillary Clinton may have walked in thinking she was ready for anything, but Joe Rogan proved that even the best preparation crumbles fast when it meets raw improvisation at the crossroads of unpredictability. The audience isn't just entertained, they're stunned, sharing clips, making memes, and laughing at the boldness of it all. Rogan dismantles his opponent without ever raising his voice, showing what it really means to dominate a conversation with skill alone. And somewhere across the internet, popcorn sales quietly spike, as everyone realizes political debates may never go back to the predictable form they once had.
I just wonder if who he really is. This
Trump?
is the real, this is my real problem with Trump. I wonder who he
because I've
really
heard people
is.
defend Hillary Clinton, smart, intelligent, liberal people that I know. I go, but she seems like she's saying, she's smart because she's saying what she needs to get elected. I'm like, well, okay, well, then how's that different than Donald Trump? If you don't believe she believes these things, she's just doing what she has to get elected, then how can you not believe the same about Donald Trump?
Her speeches creep me out way more than his, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
She got called out by Bernie Sanders for having these enormous not campaign speeches, but speeches that she would give in front of these bankers.
By the time the conversation winds down, the impact is clear. Hillary's carefully prepared points are scattered like fragile paper boats caught in a violent storm, and Rogan hasn't even raised his voice. His razor-sharp humor, calm composure, and perfect timing have done all the work, leaving analysts scrambling while online forums explode with debate over whether this marks a new era of political chaos, where humor cuts deeper than authority. Yet, there's something strangely satisfying about it, because Rogan never gloats or celebrates the unraveling. He stays calm, letting the contradictions show themselves through subtle jokes and perfectly timed pauses that strike every weak spot. It becomes a masterclass in how simple humor can dismantle even the most polished personas, without ever being cruel, turning the entire moment into a lesson in strategy, wrapped in effortless charisma.